Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession. I'm your old pal, Avian and Loaded, and I have promises to keep, and I promised that I would show you guys my red and gray Hulks that are in my collection in the toy room here on Action Figure Obsession, and that's what I'm doing right now. We'll tell you right up front, we are missing one of these guys. On the far left, you see the Avengers 60 Years Beyond Earth's Mightiest first appearance Grey Hulk, who is a little bit different from the 80 Years Hulk body mold, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I do actually have two of him, but the other one is in my Thousand Oaks shelf, the Jack Kirby display, and he's way in the back with Doc Banner hanging out with him. One of my three Doc Banners, and well, four if you count the MCU one. And I didn't want to pull them both out. They're very similar. The only difference is the one that you're not seeing here has a meaner expression with his teeth bared. This guy is a little more, just trying to figure things out and maybe a little pissed off. But, that's his secret. He's always pissed off. So, yeah, I guess we'll just, I don't know. I actually, unlike, this will be different from the top 5 Green Hulks countdown that I did, because I don't think I'm going to get angry. and the irony of getting angry during a Hulk video, now that I think about it, is absolutely chef's kiss. Mwah, perfect. Perfecto. But I don't think I'm going to get angry about any of these guys, because, I think they're all pretty equal. They're very different Hulks, but they're all good, in my opinion. I don't think that anybody really pulled too many shenanigans or tried to rip anybody off too much with these. And of course, I feel very kindly towards the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest Hulk, because I did pay for one of those at retail, and then when he went to Ollie's, I did get a second one for a second of that 2-pack that came with Bruce Banner. So this Hulk and a Bruce Banner, and it was $20 for that set. And I regret nothing about that. And I think this actually is the second one that I got. I noticed when I was dusting everybody off, he didn't even really need it. He's in good shape. His shirt looks, or shirt or torn lab coat, whatever you want to call it. I guess if it's white, it's the lab coat. If it's orange, it's the shirt, since on the original cover, I think he was wearing a white lab coat with an orange shirt. They gave the 60 years one here. By the way, I absolutely love the blue shading and the hair on this guy. This and the other head sculpt that came with this one are my two favorites of all of the head sculpts that Hasbro has done for the Hulk. They're the closest to Jack Kirby's original vision, and I really wish that they'd give us this head in green and the other head as well. We really need them in green, and if they could do them in the same green that either the 80 Years Hulk or the Maximum Hulk came in, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I think that would be divine, absolutely divine, to get these Jack Kirby style heads in green. Now I have another gray Hulk here with an artist-inspired head, I believe. That's my opinion, but we'll talk about that too. Okay, so yeah, let's just get him right up front, right out of the way, real quick. He is from the Marvel Legends Avengers 60 Years Beyond Earth's Mightiest Wave, which came out in 2023, I believe. He was accompanied by this guy, Doc Bruce Banner, Robert Bruce Banner, as he is officially described in the handbook of the Marvel blah blah blah. And the two of them look pretty damn good together. This guy, when I got him, of course, could not stand up on his own, but gave him some heat, worked the feet. When you have these shitty suited bodies with the Coulson feet and legs, or the Chameleon feet and legs, those were the two first figures that had these legs and feet. When they utilized that body mold, which hopefully they won't be doing too much anymore, hopefully Everett Ross was one of the last of those, but when they utilize, and I think this guy has it too, yeah, this is my movie Bruce Banner, which actually in my Hulk display is in front of this Hulk, just, kind of for laughs, I guess. I think this Bruce Banner on the right here, the movie Bruce Banner, the Mark Ruffalo Bruce Banner, who by the way, was a huge peg warmer, but now that we see him in the movie trailer for Spider-Man: Brand New Day, they'll probably be flying off the shelves if there's any left at Walmart or Target. Um, but both of these guys have the same Coulson legs and Coulson feet / chameleon legs, chameleon feet. Dead giveaway on these is always, I'll show you as up close as I can. You see the peg holes on the bottom of the feet there, how shallow they are? They are useless. They are ghost peg holes. They will not accommodate any peg that you will find on any action figure stand. They are a friggin' joke, and they are that shallow because they couldn't drill them in any further because the feet are too thin. If you notice, the feet on these figures are ridiculously like duck feet thin. Absolutely ridiculous. That was fixed later on for the suited bodies with the MCU Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. We've talked about him excessively and at length, and then most recently yesterday in my Gray Agency update video. So there's a little more about that in there. So anyway, yes, this is the Bruce Banner that I keep with this Hulk here. This is the Bruce Banner that I actually just keep on the work table because, as I said, I have 3 of him. Where are the other 2? One of them is with the Hulk in the on the Jack Kirby shelf, the Thousand Oaks shelf, and then the other one around here somewhere. The other one. Well, I don't remember, but I know I have 3 of them. I'm reasonably confident that I have 3 of them. Oh God, I hope I have 3 of them. I did keep them with my mad scientists for a while here. I never introduced you to this guy, by the way. I figured out what to do with the Jon Favreau Happy Hogan head. At first, I was thinking maybe he was a proctologist and that was his tool. But then I remembered that Jon Favreau is a movie director, and movie directors often carry one of these little things around to take their shots or figure out their shots or their how they want to compose a shot. And so it's Jon Favreau, movie director, as a mad scientist. And one day, since a mass casualty event, and or should I call it a mask casualty event, since so many of these characters, these superheroes, are wearing masks. Maybe it's a mask casualty event, as I just said when I stumbled over my words. So the 60 Years Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest 2023 Gray Hulk here comes with the orange tattered remains of a shirt or lab coat, whatever you... Oh, this one is so fresh and new. It feels so... This one over here, this one's seen better days. That's the original one from 2019. But this one from 2023, my God... It's got that new tattered Hulk shirt smell still, believe it or not. It's crazy. And, not only is this a nice accessory to have, but do you see what it does? Do you see what benefit it provides? Compare it to the Red Hulk back here. You see the gap there at the arms, that line, which isn't a deal killer. I mean, they're toys, they're action figures. They've all got that, right? The ones whose arms actually move anyway. I'm sure Todd McFarlane's made a lot of figures that don't have that because the arms don't even friggin' move because it's just a statue. But that's but the benefit of the shirt is that it does cover up. See, I've got the butterfly joint is kind of, he's got his arm back here a little. You can also cover it up a good deal by working that joint. But the cut on... And again, this body was originally the 80 Years Hulk body from 2019. And, look at the weirdness of that little cut there. Why did that have to be that shape? Why couldn't they have rounded that off and filled that in so it doesn't look like that? Well, because it's Hasbro and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And they also don't sculpt usually inside the butterfly joint. Can you see that? It's just, you've got muscles and veins, and then you've just got this thing here, this blank wall of thing. And then back to the arm and the muscles and veins. So that's another Hasbro trademark. But at least somebody, either it was a happy accident or somebody was smart enough to say, let's tatter the shirt in such a way that it covers up, what shitty sculptors we are or what shitty engineers we are. And of course, this Gray Hulk from 2023 from the Bruce Banner 2-pack also comes with the crushed pipe. That originally came, I think it came in 2019 with the single-carded, retro-carded green Hulk, the really angry-looking one, with the running mascara. I do not have that one currently. I did have it in my collection for a while, but he went in the last purge, and of course I regret it. Take a drink. But that's, I think, about all I have to say about the 20 Years Gray Hulk. Or 60 Years Gray Hulk. He does not have, you'll notice, the paint. In fact, I don't know if any of these ones, I don't think they do. There's 3 here on the table that are on the 80 Years Hulk body, and none of them have the paint on the belt line or on the shredded tatters at the bottom of the pants to show you that the stress marks. They don't have that paint like some of them do, which is a shame, but, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I do really like the clean look of the 60 Years Hulk here. He is one of my favorites. Oh, and I was going to say, he is built on the 80 Years body, but the chest is different. You'll notice this one built on the 80 Years body, which I think actually came out in 2019 for the 80 Years, or it was very early 2020, if not. You'll notice he's ripped in the chest. He's got those striations to indicate the muscle stress and the pushing and pulling of the muscles. This one is nice and clean. I think to keep it more in the Jack Kirby realm, original design realm, Kirby wasn't necessarily big on the striations and all the muscle exertations. Is that a word? Exertions would be the word. Avian unloaded. Exertions. That is actually a word in the English language. Try to keep it to one language. So, yeah, his chest and torso, I think, too, are a little bit different, and that's fine. I like the cleaner look of it. I like the streamlined look of it. I like the Hulk smash look of it. I just think, all in all, after the 80 Years 2-pack Hulk that came with the first appearance Wolverine, I think this gray Hulk from the 60 Years Avengers line back in 2023, I think is my favorite, just in terms of how he looks. And of course, the deciding factor is those beautiful, beautiful Kirby head sculpts with the even more beautiful blue wash, blue highlighting in the hair to make it seem even blacker. Ironically, just it's a great Hulk. Say hi. Yep. So yeah, maybe he's over on the far left for a reason. Maybe he's number 1. That's entirely possible. Let's get the big guy out of the way. Sorry, Gray Hulk, you're still number 1, but you're going to the back because we got other people to talk about here. This is the General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. Father of Betty Ross, the love of Hulk's life, and in the movies, at one point, the President of the United States. But this is not the movie Red Hulk. This is the Marvel Select, Diamond Select Red Hulk, which is made... 90% of this is the Immortal Hulk body mold, that very, very expensive, very popular, best Hulk ever, Immortal Hulk from Marvel Select. A company that went out of business, so it probably will never be re-released. They did re-release it a couple of times, I think, while they were still in business, probably trying to finance the company, but ultimately that failed, and Diamond went out of business. But before they did, they gave us the beautiful green Immortal Hulk, the divine, absolutely superb Immortal Hulk with his alternate Cosmic Hulk head. Absolute perfection, my favorite Hulk action figure of all time, and I've only been collecting Hulk action figures for 54 years, so, take that for what it's worth. So Red Hulk here, let's get him. I'm going to adjust my lighting here. Shed a little light on the subject. On camera, and I think it's the highlighting, I think there's some orangish highlights in the paint job on his pecs and on his arms. Maybe even on the tops of his feet a little. This was like the Immortal Hulk. This was sculpted by May Shelf. I'm not 100% sure if the head was sculpted by May Shelf. It doesn't necessarily look like it was, but maybe it was. Look at those teeth. Look at those teeth. General Ross, what are you doing? Get to a dentist. He's something. He is so impressive that I'm speechless. I don't have a General Ross to compare him to or to stand up next to him like I do Bruce Banner. I'll show you what he looks like compared to Bruce Banner. There we go. How's that? How's that for a size comparison? This is a big boy. I think he's closing in on 10 inches, if I recall correctly. Bruce is hanging over here with his girl Natasha. In fact, a couple of his girls, Natasha. Not much else to say. If you saw my top 5 Green Hulk countdown, you know this guy was number 1 with a bullet when he was green, and he's not far from that in red either. They did the nails on this guy. They painted the nails, and they painted them the right color. I think he's fairly comic accurate to Ed McGuinness's original drawings of these characters. I think Ed McGuinness was the first guy to draw Red Hulk in the comics. You may not know, and it's kind of interesting to me, that when Red Hulk first debuted, nobody knew who he was. Well, the people who created him knew who he was, I think. You never know how that goes. But yeah, it was a mystery, I think, for the first year or so of his existence. The readers didn't know who was the Red Hulk, where did he come from, and why is he hulky, and why is he different in personality, and why doesn't he look like the Hulk? He's got different face, different facial structure. And that was because, and you don't really see the mustache thing here, and I'm glad. I know a lot of people want him to have like the red mustache or whatever, or the black mustache, however they did it in the comics. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever read a single Red Hulk comic. I don't really care. I just like the toys. I just like the action figures. It's got those yellow eyes. Absolutely gorgeous, stunning. Look at the traps on this guy, how they naturally descend to the anatomically correct looking shoulder joints, unlike most of the 80 years figures, unfortunately. I forgive a lot with those figures, but when you look at the anatomy and the structure that Mayshelf put into the Red Hulk version, that he probably was not allowed to give the Green Hulk, because he did also sculpt he sculpted this Hulk, in the Immortal Hulk, at least the body, and the face, I think, on the Immortal Hulk. I'm not sure about this face sculpt. But with the Hasbro ones that he did, when he designed the 80 Years of Marvel body, and I don't think he did this head, but he did this body, because it's the 80 Years body. He probably was told, to do the ridiculous butterfly joints that it has and some other, restrictions. I think he was freer to do what he wanted to do with this one, and it's a much better looking figure as a result. Don't get me wrong, I still would take the 80 Years Hulk from the 2-pack over this if I could only grab one and go. That's my boy, the 80 Years Green Hulk. But this Red Hulk from Diamond Select is pretty impressive too. All right, very, very impressive on the shelf. He goes in the back of the shelf, and he still towers over everybody. These guys, by the way, are all on the same shelf, which made getting them out very easy. Mostly took the ones in the front, and then there's some other characters that are in there, like She-Hulk and so forth, that I haven't showed you yet. And I'm just noticing, by the way, now that we're moving on to this retro Gray Hulk, which I think was either 2019, late 2019, or early 2020. I think it was pre-COVID, but not a lot pre-COVID. He does have some paint on the tatters. He doesn't have it on the belt area like the good ones do, quote unquote. But he does have it where the rips are. I mean, to me, you can almost hear the denim tearing when you see the white stress marks that are painted on there. That is a super nice touch, and he's got it on the bottom of the pants as well. So this is I'll tell you the story, actually. News of this guy came out very quickly, that it was coming out on a certain date, and I don't remember the date, but maybe it was early 2020, now that I think about it. It was going to come out on such and such a date, and it was going to, that was the release date, and it was expected to be at GameStop. And each GameStop was only going to be getting one in the first wave of the release. And I got up. The GameStop nearest me is about half an hour away. And it opened at the time before COVID. It was definitely pre-COVID, because they still opened at 10 a.m. Now they don't open until noon most days. So I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, had some breakfast, got ready for my day, took a shower. And I got my ass over there at like 9:30. and I stood in line. And it ended up being a line of three. There were only two other people that showed up and stood in line. But I was number one. And the other two guys were there for video game shit anyway, so which I have zero interest in. You know, they weren't there for the Hulk. I turned out I was kind of funny that I did all that, and I was the only one that apparently knew this Hulk was coming out that day. But I stood in the line. They open the door. I go in, and there's a whole pile of unopened boxes of new merchandise on the table. And I went over and I looked at the action figure area, and there was no retro carded Gray Hulk, and that's what this was. This was the first retro carded Gray Hulk. In fact, maybe it's the only retro carded Gray Hulk now that I think about it, but that doesn't matter. So I'm just going to say something else. They didn't have it in the action figure area, so I went back to the counter. And I was on pretty good terms with the manager there because I was probably spending $200 or $300 a month in that store, if not a week. Did I say that? But I said to her, there's supposed to be a Marvel Legends Hulk, a Gray Hulk, that is supposed to be being released today. Do you guys know anything about that? And she goes, I don't know anything about that, but I'll look in these boxes. And she got out her X-Acto knife and she started cutting open boxes. And there he was, the beast, the Gray Hulk that I got out of bed early for, stood in line for, probably pointlessly stood in line for. But that's neither here nor there. So she handed him to me, and he was indeed the only one in that box. He was the only one in any of those boxes. I don't know if they got more later or not, but it was the one time in my life, or one of the very few times in my life, that getting there early and standing in line actually paid off. This Gray Hulk has something that none of the other, I don't think, and again, this is on the 80 years Hulk body, like the two-pack Hulk with Wolverine, and like the Green Hulk with the running eye mascara, and like that other red Hulk back there we're going to look at in a minute. 80 years body. He comes with the crushed pipe. There's a few of them that come with this pipe. I believe this one and the 80 years one with the running mascara on the retro card, and which was kind of like a modern Green Hulk, as opposed to the 80 years Hulk that came with Wolverine, which was more of a 1970s, early 80s looking Hulk. And you see the Hulk back there, the Gray Hulk that I showed you already. He has the pipe. This guy has the pipe, and the green running mascara guy has the pipe. And that might be all the Hulks that have the pipe. I'm not 100% sure. And then, I can remember some reviewer deriding or criticizing the pipe. It's not that great, and it's not that great. It's fine. I like it because it sort of shows his anger. Obviously, he's crushed it in his hand, right? I remember one reviewer referring to this as the crushing pipe, which I thought was silly because it's a crushed pipe. It has already been crushed. It is not being crushed. And it does not crush anything, so therefore it is not a crushing pipe. And words matter sometimes when I can think of them. So as you can see, he's a big guy, not as big as the Marvel Select Hulks, but he's pretty big. But he's got a tiny little pea head. I don't know what's going on with that. Look at pea head, peanut. Peas are small too. I had some with dinner the other night. Every one of them was small, but they were smaller than peanuts. And this might be a pea head because. And I'm talking about the vegetable. God damn you. Get that other idea out of your mind. This head sculpt, you're going to have to bear with me, or at least trust me, or look at Incredible Hulk, I think number 4, 5, or 6. There's a couple issues in there of the original Incredible Hulk from the 1960s where Steve Ditko took over for Jack Kirby, and he drew the Hulk. Am I crazy, or is his eyes green? I don't know that I ever noticed that before. That's pretty wonderful. I think they are. This head sculpt, to me, looks like the Steve Ditko Incredible Hulk from those very earliest issues of Incredible Hulk. The original Incredible Hulk series only lasted 6 issues, and then it was canceled, believe it or not. People didn't like it. People didn't understand it. People didn't get it. Well, they get it now, don't they? Holy frig, they get it. Hulk smash. But this head, to me, has always recalled, more than anything, Steve Ditko's drawings of the Incredible Hulk. It's not a perfect one-to-one evocation of that look, but it's the closest to that look, I think, because Ditko was pulling from Frankenstein, and I think that this head as well pulls from Frankenstein's monster. I should say, not Frankenstein, who was a very handsome man and a brilliant scientist, but I think that Ditko and whoever sculpted this head for this retro carded Gray Hulk, which was the first Gray Hulk that we got in the Hasbro Marvel Legends line, I believe, certainly in the modern era. They gave him that sort of Frankenstein face, and they gave him the green or the orange shirt, which I hated at the time, and I'm still really not a fan of how it looks against any of the Hulk's skin colors. This one, as I say, this one has more weathering on it, or like painted on, and it kind of makes it look weathered, but it also feels flimsier and a little more like a used toy than the one on the Gray Hulk in the back there. And I'm not sure if that's a factor of the plastic, because maybe that one is just made from stiffer plastic and doesn't have the weathering painted in. Can you see like the dirt and stuff that they went, they went to a lot of trouble with all these retro carded Hulks around 2019, 2020. They did go to some trouble. I mean, it was trouble and cost money to put the stress marks on the tears in his pants. I'll give him credit for that. Head aside, it's not all that different looking than the other one, the other Gray Hulk. This is the first one that came out. It does have the more muscular chest with the striations. You see that, like the veins there that kind of meet, like almost like a circle with the veins coming out of it there on his pec. I think that that's pretty much the hallmark of the 80 years Hulk body. If you see that, you know that it's an 80 years Hulk. Except for that one, which was smooth and doesn't have it. This one has it too. See it right there? Center of the screen. Yep. And I'm not pointing that out as a flaw. I'm just saying that is a design element of it. And when obviously you put the shirt that he actually came with on it, you don't see it anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But there's some nice sculpting going on this guy. I like the Steve Ditko head. I wish it was 10% bigger at least. I think that it's too small compared to... It's the smallest head on any of these Hulks, certainly, and I think it is too small. But maybe the shirt distracts from that a little bit. And I've often thought about putting together an Ultimate Avengers with, a bunch of scraps in a cave from my collection. And I think that this guy without the shirt would work okay for an Ultimate Hulk. From the Ultimates back in the early 2000s, the Mark Miller Brian Hitch run. I think that there's a little bit of that here. I don't know if that's what they were actually going for or not. My thought at the time was that he was supposed to be a first appearance Hulk, and maybe the orange shirt and blue pants kind of confirm that, because that certainly is what Bruce Banner was wearing on the cover of the first issue of Incredible Hulk. But I don't know for sure. And I don't like to make stuff up unless I absolutely have to. Let's get the last of the 80 years Hulk bodies out of the way. Like the Marvel Select Red Hulk, this Marvel Legends Red Hulk has some orange highlighting on him. And again, both these bodies were sculpted by the same sculptor, May Shelf. This guy's got the painted nails. But I think they're very black, whereas these are more like a charcoal. And I think I prefer the charcoal. I think it works better with the red. But I don't, that's not a deal killer for me. It's a Red Hulk in the Marvel Legends line. It's got a different head sculpt. This is another one with, for example, with Maximum Hulk, they could have repainted this head green and given us that head in green. And that head in green, and this head in green. They have all these molds, but they gave us 3 pretty terrible heads. Dale Keown one, to me, is the only one that's even baseline acceptable for Maximum Hulk. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. You don't like yourself when you're angry. It is, again, the 80 years Hulk body. Same striations, same vein patterns. Different head. He was the only Hulk, I think, ever to have this head in the Marvel Legends, Hasbro Marvel Legends line, or any other Marvel Legends line that you care to think of. Get a little gappy at the neck there, so don't do that. Don't do that. See how good he looks here? See how bad he looks there? Don't do that. Don't do it. If there's something you don't like about the design of the figure, if you want to enjoy the figure, just don't do it. Just make the best of what you got. You already spent the money. You threw out the receipt. Bob's your uncle. What are you going to do? Yep, so Red Hulk. Little size comparison between the two. Let's make it fair. Red Hulk and Teen Red Hulk. Yeah, I mean, that's how much bigger the Marvel Select one is than the Hasbro Marvel Legends one. But again, I like them both. I like this one better, but I do like them both. No problem with the Red Hulk. I think he filled the spot on the shelf, and I have a Marvel Legends Red Hulk, and I'm happy. I'm happy about that. This guy. If you're saying to yourself, what is the deal with this guy? Then clearly you missed that issue of, I think it was Incredible Hulk, where Patch and the Incredible Hulk teamed up in Madripoor, and they, I think, worked in a casino together or something. Again, another comic book that I am aware of but never read. This was a 2-pack celebrating the 50th anniversary of Wolverine in 2024. Wolverine first debuted in August of 1974. And this Wolverine is, we'll look at him real quick. He's got matte finish on his little stumpy Logan legs, but they are good legs. They are the ones with better knees, and he's got good shoes with real peg holes, and he stands up just fine. He is not a shitty suited figure. He is just a guy in a tuxedo, and he is obviously somewhat limited. The tuxedo is closed, as you can see. I'm certain it's glued shut. It looks like it might not be, but yeah, that's glued shut. That ain't coming open, and that's fine. This is one Wolverine. I don't really care about posing. I just wanted him on the shelf next to this Hulk because this comic book cover of the two of them is just so friggin' iconic. And my understanding is they don't even actually appear in these outfits in that comic book, maybe for more than a second. It's not like they spend the whole issue running around in these tuxedos. But I mean, it's absolutely hilarious, is it not? And again, because both of them are wearing tuxedos that are closed, the jackets do not open, therefore the articulation is limited. There probably is some kind of joint in here, and there probably is some kind of joint in here. But you're not going to be doing much with them. They're just going to be standing there on the shelf, looking cool. And he also came with an alternate head, I believe, that was pretty cool. This is another good Kirby head sculpt. It is not, I don't think, the same as the one back there. Although I'm looking, man, maybe it's paint deco. Maybe it's close. It could be the same head as the gray one and the orange shirt and the way tippy back there. It could be. Boy, no, he's not. Okay, I see. See the wrinkle running down from his nose all the way down almost to the base of his chin. On this Hulk, that wrinkle does not go as far. So I think it's a different sculpt. It does, however, have some shading in it. It looks good. It's a little more subtle than the other one. And that's fine. Obviously, this guy is a snappy dresser, and perhaps he's a little more subtle. Oh, I should mention that this Hulk, this gray Hulk, is Joe Fixit, which is an alternate personality of the Hulk. Most of these guys represent, other than the Red Hulks, who are somebody else entirely, but most of these Hulks represent a different personality, or at least a different phase of the life of the Incredible Hulk / Bruce Banner. And we can take Wolverine off because he was just there to show you that it's rare that the Hulk is an accessory in a 2-pack, and the Superstar is a Wolverine that, it in reality is probably worth about $10. But in this case, I did buy it for both of them. I bought it because they're a team, and now I'm feeling bad that I even took Wolverine away because, damn, they just look so good together. And one of the surprising benefits, unless I kit bashed this, and I don't think I did, it also uses the best claws, or the best claw hands, that they have for Wolverine in the Hasbro Marvel Legends line, which are the movie claws, the Hugh Jackman claws that first debuted on the movie figures. These are perfect. They stay where they're supposed to be. They seat well into the backs of the fists. I don't know that I've ever seen these claws messed up. Look how even they are. They're, you don't have to mess with them. You don't have to reposition them. I don't think I've mentioned this before in almost 200 editions of Action Figure Obsession, but the best Hasbro Marvel Legends claws for Wolverine are definitely the ones that come with the Hugh Jackman movie figures, and they were very smart to put this may have been the first one where they did that on a non-movie version of Wolverine, but I'm here for it. I think it looks great. I love it. Absolutely love it. And you guys get back to the casino and deal out some cards. I don't know what to tell you. So my other Joe Fix-It. So you got this Joe Fix-It, and then you have this Joe Fix-It, and then we're done. This Joe Fix-It is a repaint and reissue with a new head of the Joe Fix-It Build-A-Figure, which was pretty terrible. It was not a good figure. The shade of gray on his skin was like a greenish gray, and it was very nausea-inducing, I think is the word that I'm looking for. I see he's got some dust on his hat, and I dusted that, but I thought I might have to get a wet wipe or something out to clean up his top, the brim of his fedora. Can you see how dusty that is? Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I dusted everything, but clearly I dusted his shoes. Look how nice his shoes look. Beautiful shoes. So yeah, there was a Gamerverse Build-A-Figure Hulk. I forget. Well, obviously it was the Gamerverse Build-A-Figure Joe Fix-It Hulk wave, wasn't it? Now I don't have to tell you what figures came in that wave because I told you what wave it is. You can look it up for yourself. I don't remember. But yeah, he had a really ugly head sculpt. I guess it was supposed to look like the figure the design from the game, whatever game it was that they were trying to emulate. I don't even know what game they were doing, but yeah, I don't have any words left. I ran out. The Build-A-Figure did not come with the giant Hulk-sized Tommy gun. Where do you get a Hulk-sized Tommy gun? I think this is the only Hulk in my collection that has a trigger finger hand. So that's noteworthy. His suit looks much better. I think the suit that came with the Build-A-Figure was just dark blue. It didn't have the pinstripes. Where are they? Hold on. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done this on video before, but let me pull this guy out slowly and gingerly. So you got Pinstripe Bros. Obviously the hammerhead body a little brighter, a little more saturated, and here he is with the Doctor Doom unmasked head from Secret Wars. But yeah, basically the same idea. Blue pinstriped suit. Now I'm putting him back. Peter Parker leaned over, but he didn't fall. No, oh no. Okay, that wasn't a bad one. Only like 3 fell over, but now we have to say it. 0 days since the last mass casualty event. God damn it, I was doing so good. All right, so this Joe Fix-It, it was a deluxe re-release of that Build-A-Figure with a much better head sculpt. That is a much better Joe Fix-It head sculpt. It's a much better Hulk head sculpt. It's just much, much better. You look up that original Joe Fix-It Build-A-Figure, it was dire. It was just really not good. Look at the silver paint on this thing. That's really nice. Like the wood parts are just cast in plastic, but with the texture, it looks like wood a little bit, and you can kind of forgive it. But they painted the silver on the Tommy gun, and it is gorgeous. It's got that removable drum magazine. Just, I think I might have super glued that in. That's one of those things that, I'm never going to do photography where it needs to be removed. So I may have super glued it in. I'm not going to even check. But he's got his nice black tie, his starched white shirt. He's got that, this is a nice place you got here, pal. Be a shame if anything happened to it, huh? Yeah, Hulk like beans. What? What'd you say? Hulk like beans. Hulk like beans. Yep. That's my favorite Hulk slogan, by the way, Hulk like beans. Look it up. Do a Google image search, Hulk like beans. Hulk does like beans. He loves beans, especially eating them out of a can. Never got botulism either, because he's the Hulk. Oh, I don't know if you ever noticed that he's got the little purple pocket square. Look how cute. How cute that is. Oh, my God. Purple pocket square. Joe Fix-It Hulk for the win. Yeah, baby. I'm not going to give you a ranking on these or a countdown. Diamond Select, Marvel Select, red or green Hulk is always going to be number 1 in any countdown. But I like the rest of these guys pretty much equally. I hope you enjoyed my little story about getting up at, 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure I was prepared for the lines that they were going to have at GameStop waiting for the retro-carded Gray Hulk. That was, what a day that was. I felt so victorious, though, driving back to northern New York from New England. where I had to go to get that Gray Hulk. And when she opened that box and it was there and she handed it to me, because you never know, it's all we have this reserved for somebody else, or I have to put it on the shelf, or no, here you go, buddy. It's our one and only, and you can have it, and I still do. Never traded it, never sold it, never purged it. Still have it. And I do love all these figures pretty unreservedly. There's nobody here that makes me angry, and a couple of them make me really happy. And even the Joe Fix-It with his big giant Tommy gun, I don't think about him too much, but goddamn, he looks good, and I'm going to dust that hat off, and all will be right with the world. So thank you for joining me for this look at my gray and red Hulks here on the Avian and Loaded channel's Action Figure Obsession. See, when you stop and you calm down and you think about what you're going to say, the words just flow like butter. Melted butter. They flow like melted butter. Yes, or molten lava. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, if you absolutely hated it, give it a thumbs down. Maybe you only like the green Hulk and you hate all the other Hulks. I can understand a thumbs down in that case. But explain yourself in the comments. If you have any observations or analysis or questions or your own, I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get a gray Hulk and could have stayed in bed until 9:30. Kind of story, feel free to share that in the comments. And if you would, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell when you do that so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one today at some point. That could happen because it's very early right now. The sun's just coming up. And believe it or not, I'm going to go have some more caffeine. So thank you for joining me for this edition of Action Figure Obsession. And I'll see you on the next one. And remember, Hulk like beans.